Welcome back to the Psychological Paradigm Shift podcast. I am Ed Rieger, your host. I hope you found the last episode informational and helpful. Always remember, I am only providing my personal opinions based on my experiences and education on psychological topics. We will be talking about mental illness in a very blunt, transparent manner. The topics may be disturbing to some, and it will never be my intent to hurt anyone, only to share my ideas and thoughts. Let's get started. So tonight we're going to cover Chapter 3, ages 30 to 40, prime time. We left off last week talking about fog lifters and chaos chasers, and should you try and create a romantic relationship with either one. Let's tackle the chaos chaser first. By the time they are turning 30, they have most likely established the foundation of their behaviors very well. They probably have sunk into complete alcoholism, drug addiction, or a multitude of self-abuses. They have multiple relationships, maybe multiple children, been arrested, incarcerated, maybe multiple times, and have committed unknown abuses against their romantic partners, strangers, their children, their employers, and anyone that they've come in contact with. They will never come out of the chaos, and it only gets worse from here. Between 30 and 40, they are laying the foundation of a very unpleasant older age filled with children, romantic partners, friends, co-workers, and family who want nothing to do with them ever again. Everyone they thought they had a relationship will abandon them, and the chaos chaser will abandon everyone. They know they will never try and self-analyze their behavior and the traumas they received as a child. They will never try and seek help to heal the wounds they have carried throughout their lives. They're destined to die with those secrets from their childhood and the activities they've participated with as adults. And the secrets of the abuses they have committed against others, they will never discuss or consider ever again. I know this sounds dire. It is untreated induced mental illness is very ugly business. It will destroy your life and everyone you bring into your life. There's not much hope for chaos chasers ever redeeming themselves. They would have to change their personal psychological paradigms. I believe once you have committed unspeakable abuse against others, either sexual, physical, financial, against someone else, or your own spouse and children, there's no coming back from that. To hope you could become mentally healthy after that is something I've never seen happen with all the mentally ill people I've known or do know. To become mentally healthier, you would have to admit and accept the abuses you have committed. You would have to address those abuses to the person or persons and ask for forgiveness. You would have to be willing to accept the consequences of your actions and pay a price, either legally, financially, or socially. I have never seen that happen voluntarily. All of this now becomes the chaos chaser's secrets and possibly their children's secrets, and on, generation after generation. That's why I wrote How Not to Date or Marry the Mentally Ill. It's my attempt to break this cycle, to create a paradigm shift for the induced mentally ill. So the question is, do you ever try and create a romantic relationship with a chaos chaser? I wouldn't recommend it. If you are unfortunate to meet a chaos chaser when you are younger and more naive and become romantically involved, you can mark that day as the end of the mentally healthy you. If you have children with a chaos chaser, you are now tied to them most likely for the rest of your life through the children. Even if you divorce, it will not matter. You and your children are caught in their world forever. I will discuss this further in the next episode. Let's move on to the fog lifters. They've survived their 20 and 30 timeline and have most likely self-destructed with alcohol, drugs, finances, or other reasons. There's one massive difference between chaos chasers and fog lifters. Chaos chasers would never address their childhood traumas and try to self-analyze or seek help from a psychiatric professional. Fog lifters have accepted they have psychological issues and have no problem self-analyzing themselves or seeking psychiatric help to become more mentally healthy. Make no mistake, if you think dating a fog lifter is going to be fine because they are addressing their issues, you better think again. When fog lifters first realize and accept they have psychological damage, is the first day of their new lives. Depending on their age, which is most likely in their late 20s or early 30s, it is going to take them years to unravel the damage that was done to them in their childhood. They must strip their psyche down to begin to understand and accept the traumas they experienced, depending on the severity, and if there was a multiple traumas over multiple years, it is going to take a fog lifter years to create a more mentally healthier life. Remember, they probably are also picking up the pieces of the broken lives that drove them to accepting their psychological issues and creating their paradigm shift. They most likely will not have the time or energy to pick up their lives, work through their traumas, and establish a new way of thinking while trying to create a relationship with you. During this time, they are still very vulnerable to the same issues that has plagued them from childhood. And slipping back into familiar patterns of known friends and family is tempting. In the back of their minds, they know they must change, they must evolve, or they will not survive. Creating a romantic relationship is not a good thing at this time. If a fog lifter does try and create a romantic relationship before they have worked through their issues, it will most likely result in a breakup or divorce. Hopefully, there will not be any children involved as they do this. That is another factor with fog lifters. They realize that having children may never be in the cards for them. They know the chaos they come from and subconsciously know that they could never have children. They can't rely on any family member to help them with their children. They would never take their child to their parents that traumatized them for care. They can't rely on any siblings that are now chaos chasers. How could they bring a child into this kind of environment? They may choose not to ever have children. How will that affect your decision to create a partnership with them if children weren't in the picture? While fog lifters are self-analyzing their behaviors and motivations, they must be consumed with devoting their energy and time to fixing their issues. This will not be fair to you. They will not have the psychological strength to have a relationship with you and study and research their problems. When I went homeless at 26, I was dead broke. So I spent years in the public library studying information that was free that could save me. At first, I thought I could make myself more positive, and that would fix the problem. So I read every happy book I could get my hands on. Well, that wasn't working. Then out of nowhere, I found an older version in a discount book bin, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, the DSM. And for folks who have YouTube, it's the book here on the counter that I would highly recommend everybody should read. It's a tough read, but I'd recommend it. The book cost me $0.25 at the time, but it changed my life. I spent years reading and rereading the manual. In that time, something very critical happened to me. My brain began to unlock the memories that it had buried so deep from my childhood. I spent my teen and young adult years with a complete void of understanding and accepting the traumas I experienced. It's like I had an amnesia. My mind had protected me all those years from remembering what happened. But now I was remembering, and that's when the work began. And it really has never stopped. That's why becoming involved with a fog lifter is such an impossible choice. Are you prepared to spend the rest of your life helping them unravel their psychological webs? Thank you for sharing time with me tonight. I hope this information was helpful to you as we progress through our psychological paradigm shift. I look forward to next week's episode. Take care of yourselves.